Welcome back, everybody. Our last episode, we ended up beating Genichiro. Let's push forward a little bit through some dialogue and get ourselves up to our next sub-boss and our next main boss. You're going to run downstairs and talk to Kuro. You have to go through a very fair amount of dialogue, but if you're into lore, there's a lot of story here. It's worth going through. You're going to be presented with a small choice. There's only one right answer for right now. We'll get back to that later in the series. Talking. We just got to get through all this dialogue until we're ready to move on. You'll get the Immortal Severance text. This is the directions, essentially, that our characters are following. More talking. Okay, and we can finally head out this back window here. Luckily, where we're headed next isn't very far away at all. We're just going to go ahead and drop out of this window, bang a right, and drop down onto these lower roofs. Straight over to this little building over here for some more talking. We'll ask about the Immortal Severance, the direction that we're headed with the game, the first tool that we need to go find and where it is. Ishin's going to tell us that that's located in the Senpo Temple. And we're going to head back to Kuro. Grab that key. That's key for later. See what I did there? And more talking. As soon as we have that key and we've exhausted all of the dialogue, they let us know about a shinobi shortcut. I'm just going to show you that real quick. Just that wall, it takes you right back to the dilapidated temple. Anyway, back in Kuro's room, we're going to go ahead and travel to the Ashina Castle Idol. Once there, go ahead and turn around. We're going to jump right across this little gap here. If you wish to fight these two and you don't have your gatehouse key, I recommend doing so. We're going to head right up this grapple here. You should see an enemy with a bell and several dogs around him. In the building behind that is our next idol. That's the correct direction. There's also a merchant here if you need to pick up any curatives or supplies. Also, just to note, he does have a prayer bead for sale at the very bottom of his inventory. Heading down into the abandoned dungeon. Go ahead and just run right through here. You can try to kill all these enemies, but they will just come right back. Just part of the lore, something we'll figure out later. And yet another idol to rest at here by this cage. This will take us into our underwater pathway. Go ahead and jump right in. There are several items up here on this bank, so I recommend jumping out and fighting these enemies. It's well worth it. Once you've dispatched all the enemies, go ahead and pick up this little treasure trove. And then jump right back in the water. Couple of enemies here at the top of the bank, and once we're done with them, we can just continue right through this tunnel. This will take us to the lift that gets us into the next area. Go ahead and just pull that lever. Elevator will come for you. Pull the next lever. Just continue on through. Another idol here to rest at. As soon as you're done there, go ahead and run straight down off of this cliff. You can land on that tree if you want to land more safely. There's a lot of monks coming down the trail. Our intended direction is up the trail, so go ahead and take your time. Stealth kill all of them if you'd like, or just bypass them, whatever your flavor is. Continue heading up the trail. There's plenty of grass to cover. If it does get a little hairy, we can jump up into these trees. Get a little distance between you and the enemy. As long as we keep heading up towards this building, we are going the right way. As soon as you've dispatched all your enemies, go ahead and grapple up into this small hole. We're just going to continue right down this stairwell. Couple of enemies down here. We're going to jump right out this window and go to the left. Little gap here. Up on this tree, there's a fair amount of spirit emblems, and I believe some money at the top branch. Once you're done, you can go right across onto this rooftop. My intended goal is right across the way there. There's a small cave in that rock wall. That's kind of where I want to head towards. And then we begin our climb. Right through here is an idol to rest at, and then we're just going to keep going up. 2 big grapples. I like to jump right over this enemy around this corner and continue my climb up. Couple more grapples and we will be at the top and at our sub-boss for the area. The Fistful of Ash I got preloaded there is pretty useful in this fight. This is a 100% posture fight. You cannot affect his vitality whatsoever. So watch an eye on those Makiri counters as they come in, deflect any of his attacks that you see coming in. These flurries are great to deflect or avoid depending on your situation. The Fistful of Ash gives you great time to get some attacks in. This is what it looks like when you do deflect that flurry. He gets stuck there for a good second. What we want to do is get that death blow right when he's on the edge of the map. You have to push him out of this bridge. It's the only way to beat him. You'll be rewarded with a prayer bead. And the Breath of Nature, I believe that gives you more posture on death blow. It's a latent ability, nothing to cast. We're going to continue heading along the trail here that's set for us. There's plenty of ways to kind of pass this area. This is just the one way I go. We're going to go straight up onto this rooftop and bang a right. Run all the way around this building. You'll see the staircase below you there. We're just going to keep going up the mountain. Continue on up the stairwell. You'll be surrounded by enemies that you can fight if you'd like. Plenty of XP for your character. Once we arrive at this sort of like palace slash citadel slash, I don't know, building, we're just going to run right for the front door. There's plenty of enemies out here on the deck, but I just want to get us to this door. The animation actually saves you from any incoming damage, and there's our next idol. Once you're set with that, we're just going to walk right over to this table and ring this bell. This will take us to the Hall of Illusions, where our main boss fight is. The first monkey that you need to defeat is one of 4, and he's right behind you. Going straight forward and up towards this tree. We're going to chase this red monkey. I actually miss him here, but it's okay, we'll get him later. Continuing straight forward. You see that bell there? We need to go ring that. So we're going to drop down, ring this bell, and that will stun that green monkey up on that ledge. Go ahead and grapple right up to him and scratch him off the list. That's 2. Back onto the rooftop and hanging a right. We're going to go all the way across to that big building there in the distance. This monkey actually sees us coming unless you turn out the lights. There's a lot of ways to do this puzzle. It's kind of a puzzle more than a battle. I tend to just chase him down, but there are other ways to complete it. He's going to land here on this tree. We can get him. And then that red one we missed earlier, he went and sat himself all the way at the top here, you'll see. As soon as I get across this grapple, he's up there at the top. I just ran around the building, and he jumps right down onto that tree as well. We can chase him. He'll make one more gap across here. He's sort of the alarm for the rest of the monkeys. And that's it, folks. Nice and easy. That's all 4 monkeys. They'll run you around if you let them, but if you just chase them down, pretty easily done. As soon as we leave the Hole of Illusions, we'll end up here. There's another idol here if you'd like to grab that. You'll get your memory and a puppeteer ninjutsu skill. And we're just going to talk to this NPC here, who will award you with the Mortal Blade, one of the items we need for the Immortal Severance ending. Small cutscene here. Now that you have your Mortal Blade, you can take the idol back to Kuro's room. And more dialogue. How about that? That's it for this video, folks. Nice and quick, nice and easy. Next episode, we are going to pick up with another 2 sub-bosses and then get into our main boss.